Okay, I don't look that bad. Oh. Hello you guys, how are you all? I am back in my station, back to making videos. I haven't been on here in definitely over 2 weeks, but it felt more like a month because I haven't really been that consistent. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing my makeup with you guys, and I'm going to be sharing with you guys a little bit of like a life update, keep you posted and let you know what's the plan for my channel and the whole 9 yards. I have all of the goods here that I'm going to be using. So some of the items that I'm going to use are brand new actually that I wanted to just, share with you all. And then some of them are cult classic favorites that I love. So let's get started. I did do my brows already, so I'm going to start with primer and then of course link everything down below. I also asked you guys on Instagram some questions. So I'm just going to go and answer some of them. Wedding details. A lot of you guys had asked me when my wedding was, when my wedding is, if I planned on vlogging it, the whole 9 yards, So Mikey and I actually got married June 29th. So that was like 2-ish weeks ago. I did actually invite one of my subscribers. I was so happy that she was able to make it from Florida, which was like the coolest thing ever. She had a blast. But yeah, so we got married 2.5 weeks ago, and I feel like I got a lot of questions on this because a lot of you guys are like, but you kind of like just met. So there's a lot of backstory to a lot of things that I have to say, but mainly in the Jewish world, well, the Orthodox, modern Orthodox Jewish world, that's pretty much how things work. We really try not to drag the dating process and the engagement process way too long. I'm not going to be using any foundation. I actually have not been using any for the past little bit. I really just have been using concealer. Like one day I definitely want to go more in depth with how things kind of work, because I feel like it's very different from many other like maybe religions and customs and things like that. But in the Orthodox, modern Orthodox Jewish world, that's pretty much, it makes a lot of sense. And you guys have to hear this. I actually have a neighbor upstairs and she's, I would say, more religious than me. And so she's like, oh, I heard you got engaged. When's the wedding? This was like back in maybe April. So I'm like, oh, I don't know, we're thinking maybe June. So she's like, whoa, in such a long time. So just to kind of give you guys a little bit of an idea of how, people think depending on, where they're at in life, religion, all of that. We're gonna do the wedding on July 29th, and we did want to focus on doing it on the 29th of a specific month, because if you guys watched our other video together, my birthday's October 29, his birthday's May 29. We met November 29th, and we wanted to get married on the 29th of a month. So July 29th actually turned out to be on a Friday, and Orthodox Jewish people do not get married on Fridays. Like never, ever, ever. It's not a thing. So, but that would have been great because it would have given us a little bit more time, and we didn't want to wait till August 29. It just seemed like forever away. So yeah, thank God everything worked out really, really well. It is boiling hot. Stay tuned for some wetness under there. Okay, so yeah, this is how the concealer looks once you kind of blend it out. I love this. It's been the concealer I've been using the past 2 months for sure, since I purchased it. Month, I guess. Okay, next I'm gonna go on with my Fenty powder. I love this to kind of set my entire face. And this is gonna give me a little bit of color as well, because I feel like the concealer was a little bit too light. So next question is, sorry if it's too personal, no need to answer, but are you gonna cover your hair? And the answer is yes. In the Orthodox, modern Orthodox world, I'm not gonna say Jewish world, because a lot of times people are Jewish, but they don't necessarily, let's say, keep the laws. They just consider themselves either traditional, reform, but I consider myself modern Orthodox. So in the modern Orthodox world, you cover your hair after you get married. Just kind of like as a, what's the word? I don't want to say it in Hebrew, but not in English. Kind of like a modest type of thing. Yeah. It's kind of a modest thing, basically. You're only allowed to really show your hair to your husband. So a lot of people wear like coverings like this. They cover their whole head of hair. I have my hair here, just actually I'm waiting for my wig to come. It's going to be available next week, Monday, and I didn't want to not make a video for another little bit, just like I didn't want to wait for the wig, you know what I mean? So this is where I'm at. I know that people have like stages where they'll cover half of their hair, and then as they feel like they want to take more upon themselves, they'll cover more. Growing up, I was always Orthodox, super Orthodox. I went to Orthodox schools, all of that. But, you know, as I got older, like my early 20s, I wouldn't say like orthodox, like I was more like chilled with stuff. So I didn't think I would necessarily cover my hair getting married when I get married. But Mikey and I have actually been growing together, and I think it's amazing because that's something that I really prayed for. That I could meet someone that's kind of on the same wavelength as me, that we kind of like think the same way and we grow together, and even if we don't necessarily do, we respect each other's ways, and we're kind of like, we have the same flow in a way, you know? So moving forward, you'll probably be seeing me in probably the nicest wig ever. It was pretty pricey, but it's the kind of thing that you wear like forever. I'm gonna have to go pick it up next week. So really excited about that. And so you'll see me either in a wig or in a head covering, but eventually I'll be covering my whole entire hair. Yes, which is great in some aspects because then I never have to do my hair, which is always a win. I hate doing my hair. I love how it comes out whenever I do it, but I do not love doing my hair at all. Okay. Where are you moving to? Florida, New Jersey, California? That's the next question. So now I'm going in with bronzer right now. So I don't know if I'm sweating beyond over here, but on Instagram I actually asked, a few of you guys asked me where I'm moving to, if I'm moving to a different state. So Mikey is from New York originally, Brooklyn. But then he moved to Canada at age 12, and then he was like around the world, you know, as he got older. For me, I was born in Manhattan and I lived in Brooklyn my whole entire existence. Brooklyn is really all I know. Or New York, really, all the boroughs, all of that. But yeah, I've never really moved to any other state. I don't even know how that feels. It's just like, yeah, it would feel very interesting to me. And not even the feeling of actually moving. It's like, I wouldn't even know how to live in another state. Like, it's like New York is me, you know what I mean? So initially when he mentioned he would want to move, I was like, I don't think so. You know what I mean? But then like as time went on, I'll be honest, I love New York, but there are a lot of annoying things about New York. First of all, you get tickets left and right. If you have a car, good luck. Even if you're like super careful, like there's just a way that you're just gonna get a ticket, like alternate sides. You can't park on a certain side at specific hours of the day. There's always speed cameras, really in the least expected places. You will, like, there'll be a speed camera there and you'll be like, well, I didn't even realize. And you were going like two over the speed limit type of thing, you know? So things like that, which just kind of like, after some time, it kind of just gets annoying, you know? I personally love the busyness. That's what I'm obsessed with. And I love the convenience of Brooklyn and New York in general. So that's the part that I'm probably gonna miss the most. I'll be honest, like knowing that I can go to the grocery store at, 1 a.m. if I want to, and there's one like literally 10 feet away from my house. I'm gonna miss that, and like when I hear that other places are not open till that late, I'm just like, how? Like for me, it's such a normal thing to go to the Apple store at 4 a.m. if I'm feeling it, you know what I mean? Which doesn't always happen, but like, it's just nice to know that it's an option. So I'm not gonna mention here where we're gonna move yet. We're kind of looking for a place, and I'm like a little bit nervous, but I'm kind of excited at the same time to embark on the new journey. And the fact that I'm actually doing it with Mikey is exciting, because if I would do it myself, it would kind of be like, oh, like it's hard to do things yourself. I think I'm pretty independent in general, but like to actually move to a different state, I have my whole family with me pretty much here. So, you know what I mean? It's just like, I love the convenience of being able to go to them, to walk to them, to drive to them, whatever the case is. Like everyone is here for me. So it's definitely going to be a massive, huge transition, but I don't know. I think it could be nice. I think it can be a learning experience. I think it can be something really positive. And just like the beginning of anything can always be really difficult and hard, but we're also going to a place where there is a community that we do want to be part of. And I think community is a huge, huge deal. That makes me feel a little bit more comfortable that we're going somewhere with groups of people that I know I can be surrounded by and hopefully learn from, grow from, the whole 9 yards. So that's my answer for now. Hopefully when we do move, which Mikey wanted to move in the next month, I'm like, I just don't know, like, take it easy. But then I said like September, October time is when we have a lot of holidays, and also it's really, really busy here on YouTube because like tons of new releases are coming out, so it's not a time for me to move. So he said he can see it probably happening maybe November, December time, which is fine because we would probably drive there. We wouldn't, you know, we wouldn't fly there because I don't think it would just be easier to drive. Like even when my brother moved to Texas, him and my other brother took a U-Haul and they just drove to Texas with all the stuff in the back, and then his wife and the kids just took a plane right there. So yeah. One of you guys were like, wait, what did you say? You could take the girl out of New York, but you can't. Wait, you could take the girl out of Brooklyn, but you can't take the Brooklyn out of New York. And that's so true, let me tell you. The next question is, how are you? Which I kind of love because it's like a simple question, but it's pretty loaded as well. But I'm going in with the Liora.y loose translucent powder. I'm doing pretty well. I think that this whole thing happened pretty quick, but it's so ultra exciting, and it just shows me that in life, I feel like we think that things need to take X amount of time to be either successful or to be married or to whatever the case is. Not necessarily, you know, like I have this speaker that I listen to, and he constantly mentions that like, just because we're used to something taking let's say a long time, it doesn't mean it's always going to take a long time. Like, let's say someone becoming rich. Like, it's a thing, like, oh, it'll take me this amount of time because I have to do A, B, and C. But the truth is, not necessarily, you know, like, it rarely happens, yeah, but I feel like when we manifest it, it can possibly come true. And for me, my $1 million, my $1 billion is Mikey, because never in a gazillion years did, like, I prayed for him. Trust me when I say, I used to sit on the floor in my living room and cry my butt off, like, just cry and cry. Well, I'm going in with the Shelly Benefit blush. This is the best, newest blush ever. I've been using it every single day. Anytime I put on a blush, it's the cutest thing, cutest color ever. So yeah, I really just kind of want to like emphasize on this. But yeah, I literally used to sit by the mirror and cry and cry and pray and cry and pray. Not because I wasn't content with who I am and like I need someone in my life. I was already single for a pretty significant amount of time. I'm 30. You know what I'm saying? I would love to have children, and I feel like, especially for women, you can't have kids till you're 60. And then not even that, like you want to be able to, this is what I always said. I always said, like, I want to embark on the new journey to be able to bring something more to this world than just myself. You know what I mean? To build something with someone, to bring children into this world, to teach them, to raise them, and all of that, you know? So I was ready for that, and I wanted that. And it wasn't because I wanted to be with someone because I was alone. I was alone, but I wasn't lonely, I would necessarily say. I mean, I had my moments where it was hard for me, but I didn't want to just be with someone just to be with someone. You know, I think I had a lot of opportunities to be with someone, and I didn't want to just to be, because like that wasn't my point over here. I really wanted someone that I can connect with, that I can grow with, that I can love, that I feel attracted to, the whole 9 yards. So I'm happy that I, in a way, waited, because really there's nobody, I feel like nobody more perfect for me than him. And I feel like we both complement each other. We bounce off each other. We know how to, you know, treat each other when we're both acting annoying or whatever the case is. And with other people, it wasn't really like that, you know? So, and the fact that I kind of knew him before, like from synagogue, if you watched our other video, the fact that I knew him before, I just kind of felt like tied in the whole story, you know? So it really hits home for me. I don't know what my point of this all was. Oh yeah, he's $1 million basically. Okay, next I'm gonna use a little bit of the Rare Beauty Mist. I love this, by the way. It's practically done. I am sweating like ultra. Next levels today. I'm gonna go in with the Patrick Ta palette. This is the Major Dimension 2 eyeshadow palette. Also, it has been a palette that I've been using for the past 2 months. Like every day, pretty much. Every day I put on makeup. Okay, next question is, do you still talk to Emma? I definitely do still talk to Emma. I don't see her every day though. Like I used to. I used to see her pretty much daily, but I don't really go to TJ Maxx, honestly, as often as I used to. But when I do go here and there randomly, like I'll see her, like I'll be filming and she'll be like looking, and then she'll start like to giggle. I'm like, Emma? And she's like, hey, I'm like, I didn't even expect you, you know? She was actually one of the only people who made me feel like there were good people in the world. Meaning, like, it's one thing when you hear that someone did something nice, or like, you know of someone, but when you physically meet someone and speak to them and get to know them, especially at this day and age, She was really a light for me. And whenever I was going through like a hard time, like here and there, we would always message actually. Even now, we still always message, but we don't really see each other as often. But she was always that person who lifted me up and always made me feel like, girl, you got this. You know, even when I felt like beyond down or whatever the case is, she has such intuition that in a way, like when she talks, it just makes you feel like calm and like, you know what, it's gonna be okay. So she was really that like, almost like that rock for me at times when, you know, I was feeling down or was feeling bothered. And then when she did find out that I was engaged, she just really went above and beyond, first of all, with the gift and just like constantly asking, hey, do you need anything? Can I help? Like the whole 9 yards. And I told her, I'm like, Emma, it's because of you, or mainly because of you, that I thought to myself, there has to be good people out there, you know, because I just don't feel like I come by solid people daily. And that's just the truth. I mean, I don't meet a lot of people all the time, but the ones that I do meet, like she truly is. I don't even know how such a person exists, but like, wow, like top 5 people I ever met in my entire existence. No question. She bumped her spot up like really quickly because she really is such a like sweet, just like a diamond. I love her. Okay, I got a lot of wedding questions. So the next one is, are you going on a honeymoon? So at the current moment, we actually don't know what we're gonna do. We might go to Mexico. I would love to go to Italy. Like that's one of my dream destinations. I would, yeah, like literally faint the second I would arrive there. But Italy, Greece, you know, one of those places would be really nice. But at this like specific moment, it's just not perfect for both of our schedules. But we might actually make just a small trip to Mexico, see what's up, especially since we're kind of trying to move and everything to a different state. We still like don't know if it's in our budget to do that at the second, and also if it just makes sense at this specific time. So, and also Mikey has like his own things he's working on and stuff. So again, just like time wise, it's probably not the most perfect time. I mean, when is it really perfect ever? You just make things happen, right? But we just decided for now we'll probably hold off on it. And if we do end up going, it'll maybe be like for like, I don't know, 4 days maybe. Nothing too crazy, but just kind of to get out a little bit. So for now, no, but maybe soon. Okay, next question is, why was your engagement and wedding done so fast? So just like, again, like I touched on it in the beginning of the video, it does seem fast, maybe to the world, but in the like Jewish space, it's actually like perfect timing. It's interesting though, because we called a few different venues and we asked them like, oh, do you have this date available? June 29th. And then they're like, oh, 2023. We're like, no, 2022. They're like, ah, so soon. So yeah, some of the venues were kind of like, okay, whoa. But when we did contact like the Jewish venues, it was a very normal thing. It was like, okay, sure. Yeah, we actually booked our wedding. I think it was a month before the actual date. So yeah, just to keep you guys informed. You know what it was also? My sister actually got married during COVID, and that made me realize that I personally do not need, I'm recording, yeah. I don't need 6 months to prepare. I know my style, I know myself very well. And actually, I would do everything the month before the wedding, even if my wedding would be next year. So that's just my style anyway. So it's also kind of like, listen, if she hooked it up, she made it beautiful. If you need to do something, you'll just get it done at the end of the day. You know when rent is due? There's no ifs and buts. At the end of the day, the rent is prepared on that day to be paid on the 1st or the 15th of every month. Even if you don't have the money, like you make ends meet to make sure to have it. So the same thing with like the wedding. It's like we have a date, we have to prepare as much as we could till the wedding date, and you know, also kind of like leave everything to God in a way where it's like we do our best and things will kind of flow, you know? It might be so weird to some of you guys. For me, it's so normal. Like it just, that's how things work. Like growing up, it's also like, oh, you got engaged. When is your wedding? 3 months? Great. A lot of you guys actually asked me if I could share footage of the wedding. So eventually when maybe Mikey will be on my videos as well, in my videos, maybe we'll share something together. For now, we actually don't really have that much. I mean, people did take some videos of the wedding, but I would want to kind of like ask him first if he would want me to share it and like all of that. So I mean, I don't think he should have a problem. He's very much a type where it's like, yeah, I could have everything for him is like whatever, because he thinks that I'm very whatever, which I kind of am, but now he's starting to be whatever. So I mean, things that you're not supposed to be whatever about. Like yesterday, I forgot something happened And he's like, ah, I'm like, no, this is not a moment. Like, it's a real deal. Okay, next question is, who did your makeup for your wedding? Which products did you use? Congratulations. Thank you so much. So sweet. I actually had a girl on Instagram that I followed who did my makeup, and I mean, I don't want to go too in depth with it because I just want to be like raw and honest. I really did not like my wedding makeup at all. I mean, I didn't tell her that, but it was not my speed whatsoever, especially like my eyebrows, and I feel like brows really like make your face. But I think I looked 10 years older than I was, and I couldn't really do anything at the moment because like it's the wedding, this, that, whatever, you know. I didn't even do a trial. I just loved her work, so I thought it could, like, it would look nice on my face. But I just felt like, again, I don't want to go too in depth. I don't want to be like too, you know. But all I'm gonna say is, if you do makeup on yourself generally and you love your style, don't necessarily run to someone else to do your makeup, because you know your face the best, you know what works for you the best, you know what you look best in. So I would say rather practice on yourself a little bit more than have someone else do it, and having that 50% chance of you being like, ugh, like, no. There are some pictures of my wedding that I cannot even look at myself, and I feel so like unhappy with how it looks. And I'm usually not someone, I'm usually like, whatever, like it's fine, whatever. But I was really not happy, and it really kind of makes me sad to look at it, but it is what it is. I can always edit like certain things, like colors on my face, to make it look like it's not that like whatever. But yeah, it wasn't necessarily my vibe. And the products that the makeup artist used were a lot of drugstore products and some high-end. But I also, with that, like on your wedding day, not that I'm saying drugstore products are bad, but you want to feel like extra, you know, on your wedding day. So I get that some drugstore products are amazing, but like for me personally, I would gravitate towards using more like Charlotte Tilbury products, Hourglass products, Patrick Todd. Like there's just something about it. Natasha Denona. There's just something about it on that day. And like, yeah, you'll have a few drugstore favorites, but like, do you know what I mean? Like if you're able to, you want to. And I didn't, and she didn't use a lot of high end on me. I brought some of my makeup and she didn't really want to use the stuff that I bought. Whatever. So I'm not happy with it, just to be honest with you. But yeah, that's why I'm just saying, if you know your face, just do you. And moving forward, God willing, I am not letting anyone else touch my face unless they've done my face a million times over and they know my vibe and gist, then fine. But otherwise, it's just gonna be me, myself, and I, because even Emma, she was like, whoa. I'm like, I know. She's like, you look so much older. I'm like, I know. She's like, I didn't love the makeup. I'm like, I know. And honestly, it wasn't even about the money, because I paid like a hefty amount. Forget the money. I just okay. The next question is, will you and Mikey get married in a church? So we actually don't get married in churches, we get married in synagogues. So where we got married, there is a synagogue upstairs, and downstairs was an actual hall. Okay, fine. So this one is, will you shave your head when you wear a wig? So in some traditions, it might sound a little bit odd. Some religious Orthodox Jewish people shave their head. But in the Jewish world, there's many different categories of Orthodox Jewish people. I feel like for those who are new to, let's say, the whole Jewish world, when they think of Jewish people, they only think of one specific type of Jewish person, and there really is so much more. A lot of Jewish people who came from Russia, from Poland, mainly, and depending on your background, you're a different kind of Jewish person, you know? So there's a lot to it. There's a huge history, but we're not that like typical type that everyone thinks of, basically. So I will not be shaving my head. I probably will be cutting my hair, because it's going to be a lot to wear under a wig, even though the wig I got is like really nice and very lightweight. I tried on the wig last week and it's so pretty. But like this hair underneath that, it would be a lot to handle. So I'm gonna probably cut it a little bit. I'm not really gonna show it as much anyway, so I don't think it would really matter as much. With the makeup, I pretty much just use all of these matte shades, so the lighter to the deeper one, to kind of build the transition. Also, I've been really doing a lot more like matte type of looks, so I don't really put a lot of like glitter on my eyes as much anymore. Mikey really loves all matte looks, so I'm just gonna take the deepest shade in here and also just kind of put it on the eye, and I think it kind of looks cool. It's just like different, you know, compared to what I typically do. The next question is, how did you know that your husband was the one? And it's a very, very loaded question and a very hard question, because the truth is, how do we really all know who really is the one if you really think about it? You know, and I feel like I went out with a decent amount of guys, and there were a lot of times that I thought like, hey, that's the one, but then something happened that it wasn't the one, you know? So you really just try, well, for myself, I try to like not hold back. I try to like just be the person I am, and you know, yeah, just be the best version of me. Because from past experiences, if you're in a position where you were hurt by the relationship, sometimes going into something new, you kind of like put up walls, and I was the queen of putting up walls. But then at some point, it's just like, enough's enough. Like, I just had to like let it go. And I really did want something. So I'll be honest, number one for me was prayer. I remember it was Hanukkah like last year, and I was praying and I was saying like, I really don't know like if this is the man, if this is the one for me. Like, I feel like I'm always making mistakes. I don't really know if it's the right person or not. Every time I think it is, it's not. Like, what's up? I was just like, God, please just help me know if this is the one. If it's not, if it is, please guide me, because I'm just a person at the end of the day. And if it's not the one, please let me know as well, so no party actually either not waste their time, because everything's an experience, but no one builds up something for nothing in a way. So that was the first thing. The second thing also was, honestly, being in a long distance relationships, I feel like everything has its pros and cons, but for me, the pro of that was really just getting to know the person for who they are, and giving time to what we have. Because I feel like with a lot of other like guys in general, it was always like they'd meet you, and then I feel like you can be very judged very quickly, and then, not that I was into this at all, but like a lot of times guys would want to be physical. And for me, it was a no-go, because being physical, I feel like ruins everything. Even if it's just like basic things. I always prayed to be, I really always wanted to be loved for me. Not because of how I looked, not because of, not anything physical really. I really wanted something real and genuine, something that a soul and a soul connect, something where like a soul and a soul actually connects. And with Mikey, I felt that. I felt that even when there were times that I made, let's say, a big deal out of something, he was very like reassuring and very calm, when he could have been like acting up as well and being like, excuse me, or like with other guys also was like what's up, and like they were like speaking a certain way towards you in a very disrespectful way. So with Mikey, it was never ever like that. He was always so beyond respectful, and that spoke words of volume for me. In addition to that, I also kind of felt like maybe there was something like there-ish, because I kind of knew him from like synagogue and stuff. Shul is another way to say it, shul. And then also like I remember his father from shul as well. So I know his father was a good guy. Like, he was in charge of everything. He was always very responsible. He was like, he had a good name in the community. So I'm like, okay, if this is his son, then like this needs to be like the real deal kind of thing. And even though there were moments here and there where like, even with Mikey, like I feel like we can all be judgmental at times. Like, let's say I didn't like one specific thing, or like things that are probably like just dumb. Like, for the fact that Mikey's a little bit more on the shorter side, but I think it's the cutest thing. And initially I was like, okay, this guy is like a little bit more on the shorter side. So I remember I spoke to my brother, and he's like, yeah, but like that shouldn't be such a big deal. And I'm like, you know what? His heart is such a heart of actual gold that like that shouldn't make a difference. And it's like, maybe in the past I would have been like, not that I'm tall or anything, that I need someone like the tallest ever, but like because I'm short, I don't necessarily want someone also like a little more on the shorter side. But basically my point is, I feel like as you get older, and I'm 30, I just realized that certain things are important and certain things are just not important. You know what I mean? Like, I've gone out with guys who were tall, had loads of money, and they were like, I can't even explain their personality. Like, definite no-go. So I feel like God gave me what I prayed for times 10,000. So it's just like, for me, it was mainly prayer, and also like just to see the person's characteristics, their traits, the way they respond to you, the way they treat you, the way they talk to you, how they are when you're with other people as well. If there were many situations actually that we hung out with his friends and I was not a fan, you know, and I feel like with other guys, they would have been like, what's up with you? Like, excuse me. He was always like, hey, like, are you okay? You don't seem so comfortable. Like, can I do something? Like, is that like, you good? And I did not expect that at all. So that was also like a huge thing for me. Here, the next question I have here is, can you share a little bit about your experience when it comes to like the dress and the hair? So the girl that did my hair, I loved her. Her name was Shelly, which I think is so ironic because this blush's name is Shelly and it's like my favorite. She's the cutest. She did my hair for my engagement and my wedding. Obsessed with her. She's very reasonably priced as well. And so she did my hair with extensions, and I think she took her time. She really she gave it, you know, she gave it all she had. And she's cute. I love her. So I had a great experience with her. For the dress, so I did not have a dress, and again, like the Jewish community and everything, they really hook things up like in an instant, in a blink of an eye type of thing, because they also know the gist of how things work. So I didn't have a dress till 2 weeks before the wedding, and that's when I was already kind of like freaking out. I'm like, okay, things are kind of getting like coming along together, but the dress I did not have, which is the main thing. For me, I'm like, you know, I don't mind coming there with pajamas. Like that is so my speed. Like pajama zone 101, that's me. With my hair and makeup done, like I don't mind that, but obviously you need a dress. So I actually ended up asking Rivka, my best friend, and she gave me a few phone numbers of a few places, and I found one really close by to my house. It was like a rental, but you had to pay like, I think it was like $2,000, $2,500 or something. But I was able to like alter it to the way that I wanted it to be, and I ended up adding a bow by the waist area. So I kind of like twerked it up a bit, and I always wanted a dress where it's tight on top and it like pops out on the bottom, just because I'm smaller on top and like a little bigger on the bottom. So I just feel like for my body type, it was very flattering. So I got a dress. My wedding was on a Wednesday. I got a dress 2 weeks before that Wednesday, to show you where I'm at in life. Sometimes it's fun to live on the edge. Okay, I'm putting these on. The next question is, are you and Mikey planning to have kids right away? So the truth is, we're not, whatever comes pretty much, we'll take. Next question is favorite foundation. So I loved the Charlotte Tilbury, I forgot what it's called, the Glow Foundation. I think that's one of my favorite products. I also love the It Cosmetics like CC cream. I feel like I'm answering like all of these like personal questions like, hey, what's your favorite foundation? So yeah, those two pretty much. Next question is, I don't know where I'm up to. I think I'm up to the next question. I'm gonna put on this lip product by Urban Decay. It's their brand new like liquid lipstick they just released. It's supposed to give you like, you're supposed to shake it. Ugh. It's supposed to give you like a matte, like it's supposed to last like a matte liquid lipstick, but give you like a shine of a gloss. The next question is, how do you manage your budget? Who really knows? I feel like the main question I get is how much my rent is, which eventually I will share with you guys, because I feel like it's like everyone wants to know that, which I don't really mind sharing. Like it doesn't bother me. Should I just say I pay $1,400 for rent, but it's a very normal amount for Brooklyn. Actually pretty low if you think about it, because now like any other place that I look at is, if you're lucky if you're getting a place for $2,000. So I'm very thankful for being able to pay this amount. I know in other states this is probably how much people pay for their mortgage, because my brother lives in Texas and his mortgage is less than mine a month for rent. So, you know, but my mother, when she moved to New York, her rent was I think $400 a month, which is like, what? Unheard of. Okay, and then the final question that I'm going to answer while I'm putting on my lip product is, will you continue doing YouTube after you got married? So I personally knew that I would probably take a break, not because I really wanted to, but because just with everything going on, it was really hard to find a time to just sit and film. Not even just sit and film, like even with my Shop With Me videos, these things take so much time. I feel like it looks like Boom Bam Baby, but it takes a lot of time. You could take up to 10 hours to do, you know, and I really wanted to, one second. I really wanted to focus on like the wedding planning and, you know, enjoying those moments. So therefore I took a little bit of a break from YouTube. Do I plan on quitting? Actually, no. I love making videos. I probably would love to kind of add a few different things here and there, like not necessarily only focus on beauty. Like I would love to maybe once a week just do something that's not beauty related, which could be like a clothing haul or like a vlog of some sort or something like that, you know? I still love beauty. I still love makeup. It's just sometimes hard to keep up, honestly. Like if you're not the first, to put up a review of something, most people don't care after that. Like the views are significantly lower, and the views play a role, even though each view is an actual person. It plays a role for me personally because I will usually try to make a video where I know my audience will like enjoy it, and if they don't enjoy it, like it's not that it's not worth my time, but in a sense, because during that time I can actually just go to the hospitals and you know, visit sick people or do something more for the world in a way. So that's how I look at it. Like, or even help someone else out with something that they're, you know, they're needing help with, something like that, instead of spending, let's say, X amount of hours on a video where I'm getting less views, so less people are interested, and then knowing at that time I probably could have done something a little bit more productive, you know. So it can be, I don't know if the word is discouraging sometimes when you know you worked hard on something and it's not like the audience is not really there, which is fine. You know, it is what it is. But in general, I still love making videos. I definitely still want to continue. Will I change things up as time goes? Probably. I don't know where my life is going to take me. Will I end up doing beauty forever? Also, it's possible, but I also see it not being possible. You know, like the truth is, I constantly pray to God and I say, like, guide me. I really just want to make sure that I'm doing something that, you know, I'm in a way that I'm kind of giving back, something that keeps me, I don't know if the word is busy, but kind of keeps me, what's the word? Accomplished in a way, but also giving back to the world where I'm making somewhat of a change, you know, whether that's helping someone with, let's say, makeup or just becoming a better person, things like that. Like those things are very important to me, like doing more than I am, being more than I am, things like that. So anyways, I love this color, by the way. This is in the shade Cuffed Up by Urban Decay. It doesn't feel the most, like it's not the most comfortable, but it's a pretty innovative lip product, I will say. So if you're wanting to try it, it's available on Sephora. I think that's pretty much it. It's definitely really, really nice to be back. Hopefully I'll give you guys more updates as time goes, and I will hopefully see you tomorrow. I mean, I would love to consistently post at least 4 times a week to kind of get back to my schedule. So stay tuned. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below. I love you guys. Thanks for being the coolest people ever. And I'll see you all in my next video.